as fuck, I'm up before the sun. Coffee in my cup, charts loading one by one. Ain't no time to waste, got my system down. Trading's what I do, about to get this crown. Screens all lit up, candles red and green. This my morning shit, know just what I mean. Sipping slow and steady, while I check the trends. Mad focus now, this is how my day begins. Charts and coffee got me in my groove. This my daily move, yeah, I got something to prove. Charts and coffee got me feeling smooth. This my daily truth, yeah, I know just what to do. Fuck the formal trading, that ain't how I roll. Take my time analyzing, that's how I get gold. Coffee getting cold, but I'm locked right in. Watching patterns form, know just where to begin. This ain't rocket science, just my daily grind. Same shit, different day, but I'm doing fine. Got my setup perfect, got my mind just right. About to make these moves, gonna do this shit all night. Yeah. Sipping and trading, trading and sipping. Got my momentum, ain't no way I'm slipping. And patterns, patterns and flows. This is my rhythm, everybody knows. Charts and coffee got me in my groove. This my daily move, yeah, I got something to prove. Charts and coffee got me feeling smooth. This my daily truth, yeah, I know just what to do. I can get cold, but I'm still in the zone. Making money move, yeah, this shit feels like home. Fuck sleep, I got my morning mapped, while these other bitches still trapped in the naps. Quiet house, screens lit up bright, my setup perfect, everything's right. First sip hits, mind gets clear, another day to fucking dominate here. Watch the numbers dance and slide, while my coffee keeps me certified. Charts and coffee started right, yeah. Focus tight, mind in flight, mind in flight. Charts and coffee make it flow, yeah. That's the rhythm that I know. Second cup, now I'm in the zone. All these patterns speaking in code. They don't know about this morning grind, being sharp when others fall behind. Fuck that FOMO, I stay composed. Years of practice, that's how it goes. Every move calculated clean, this ain't luck, you know what I mean. Early bird gets the fucking win, that's why I'm here where I've always been. Discipline hits different when it's dark, that's what sets the real one me. Early bird gets the fucking win, that's why I'm here where I've always been. Discipline hits different when it's dark, that's what sets the real ones apart. Their cup's cold, but I don't care. These indicators showing me where to place it perfect, time is sweet, while amateurs still catch disease. This game ain't for the weak or slow, gotta be ready when it's time to go. Morning ritual got me trained, others sleep while I maintain. Charts and coffee one more time, yeah. This rhythm's yours and this rhythm's mine, this rhythm's mine. hours hit me with a different kind of peace. While the world's still quiet, I find my release. Just me and these numbers dancing slow, building patterns in my mind as I go. Something special about this morning air, way before the day is time to care. And I keep asking myself as the minutes tick by, and I keep wondering why every morning feels so right. What's brewing in my coffee or my mind? What's brewing, leaving yesterday behind? What's brewing in this cup of time? What's brewing as these thoughts align? You asked me once why I rise before the sun. Said I'm chasing something that can't be outrun. It's not about the money or the gain, it's about finding clarity when things ain't the same. Each morning ritual brings me closer to truth. Like watching steam rise, I'm finding proof that patience builds more than just a perfect cup. It's teaching me when to hold, when to give up. The minutes tick by, every morning feels so right. What's brewing in my coffee or my mind? What's brewing, leaving yesterday behind? What's brewing in this cup of time? What's brewing as these thoughts align? Sometimes I wish you could see this morning meditation with me, where everything makes sense before the world gets intense. What's brewing, leaving yesterday behind? What's brewing in this cup of time? What's brewing as these thoughts align? What's brewing in me? Catch a pattern while the world's still asleep. First light hits my screen, I'm in my element. Fresh brew by my side, mind is confident. Reading these patterns like sheet music, feel the flow. Each candlestick painting stories as they go. Morning meditation with my market view, catching waves of data, riding them with you. Some see just numbers, I hear the melody. Each trend line speaking rhythmically to me. Time signatures changing, support levels hold. Breaking down resistance as the day unfolds. Charts and coffee, that's my harmony. Finding rhythms where others just see. Random moves and noise, but baby, can't you see? These patterns move like jazz, just trust in me. Moving like jazz, just trust in me. Second cup hitting different minds, eye clear. Watch these price points dance, appear and reappear like a jazz musician. Reading between the lines, finding sweet spots where opportunity shines. Keep it cool and steady, no need to rush. Let the market breathe, feel that morning hush. Been studying patterns since you've been sleeping. Watching lines form art while knowledge I'm reaping. Strategy tight like a bebop groove. Calculated steps on when to make my move. Speed picks up, more intense delivery.
quick shifts coming, tempo changing fast. Gotta stay composed, make these moments last. Reading signals, catching every beat. Market symphony playing just for me. Mind state elevated, focus clean. This ain't just trading, this is art you're seeing. Charts and coffee, yeah, that's my harmony. Finding rhythms where others just see. Random moves and noise, but baby, can't you see? These patterns move like jazz, just trust in me. Moving like jazz, just trust in me. Want a ritual complete. Left my mark on these streets of green and red, but the rhythm stays in my head.
Morning comes, I think of you first. Chart lines dance while my coffee bursts. Been at this game since day one, teaching me patience like you always done. Charts and coffee, that's our way, that's how we start the day. Got my screens lit, what you gonna say? Watch how the patterns play. Numbers flow like the brew in my cup. Some days down, but we keep looking up. You showed me how to read these signs. Now every morning feels like yours and mine. Remember what you taught me about staying cool. When markets get wild, I follow your rules. Charts and coffee, that's our way. That's how we start the day. Got my screens lit, what you gonna say? Watch how the patterns play. Just you, me, and these morning routines. Building something real, building something real, know what I mean? I watch you rushing in the morning, trying to catch every move. But let me share something with you that'll help improve your groove. See, you're like fresh beans waiting to release what's locked inside. But patience makes the difference between success and a wild ride. Take it slow, watch it form. Just like steam rising up warm. Let it brew, just like your morning cup. Just like your morning cup. Take your time, watch it flow, don't rush to drink it up. Don't rush to drink it up. Wisdom comes in drops, like coffee through the filter, finding patience at the top. You check your screens at sunrise, numbers dancing everywhere. But trading's like my coffee method, it needs time and tender care. Temperature's important, just like timing in the trade. Too hot and you'll get burned quick, too cold opportunities fade. Take it slow, watch it form, just like steam rising up warm. Let it brew, just like your morning cup, just like your morning cup. Take your time, watch it flow, don't rush to drink it up, don't rush to drink it up. Wisdom comes in drops, like coffee through the filter, finding patience at the top. I've seen too many burn out, trying to catch every wave, but the ones who last the longest know just when to stay away. So here's my morning lesson as I pour this cup for you. The market gives its gifts to those who know just what to do. Like coffee needs its moments for the flavors to extract. Your trades need proper timing before you plan to act. Let it brew, just like your morning cup, just like your morning cup. Take your time, watch it flow, don't rush to drink it up, don't rush to drink it up. Wisdom comes in drops, like coffee through the filter, finding patience at the top. Closing up before the rest of the block now. Just me and my laptop. Tick tock, haven't even brushed my teeth yet, but these charts ain't gonna read themselves, I bet. Watch the steam rise, study every line. Same way I read these charts all the time. Coffee in my system, mind getting clear. That's how we make these moves round here. That's how we do. Red candles flash on my screen while I'm sipping something mean. Used to play it fast and lose, now wait for confirmation, that's the truth. Got a system, got a plan, no trading like a rookie, understand. Numbers dancing, I stay cool, cause panic selling's for a fool. Some days green, some days red, gotta keep a level head. Deep breath in, let it flow. This ain't no casino, yo. This is
Go ahead.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Strategies and risk management. That is this week's topic, and in the full title, it's how your strategy really is just risk management in disguise. So before we even get into the first slide of today, let's go ahead and discuss what that means exactly. So when I say your strategy is just risk management in disguise, what I really mean is risk management as a whole is just our ability to make sure that our accounts don't get blown, right? It's not really how much money we can make. It's not how much, little we can lose. It's to make sure that we are always at a safe level in which we are not in danger of blowing our accounts, whether that's through one trade or 10 trades or 50 trades. We always want to make sure that we have enough of a buffer that if we hit these large drawdowns that do happen, they are bound to happen regardless of who you are and what you do. Drawdowns do happen, but that we risk accordingly, and how your strategy is going to enable you to continue to do that. So, first thing is the core truth, right? Let's go through these first three quotes, right? Or first two quotes. First one is, you don't need to know what happens next, right? So that's kind of a pretty well-known fact in the trading world, is we don't know what's going to happen next. We can't predict the future. It's just like in life, everyday normal things, we cannot predict what's going to happen one-to-one. But what we can do is do what is supposed to happen, right? Meaning if we follow our rules, we're supposed to win, in the essence of being able to take as many trades as possible. But as far as a one-to-one trade basis, we don't know what's going to happen. We don't know what the outcome is, but we don't need to, right? Because that risk management is going to allow us that we don't blow our accounts, we don't get into serious drawdown that we can't get out of, right? Any of these small details, but that's what our strategy allows us for. And then the next one is you need to run the formula over and over. Now, being able to run the formula over and over, what that means is just taking the trades. Now, it doesn't mean that you miss a day here or you miss a day there, right, on a continuous basis, right? That's not running the formula. Everything that encapsulates our trading day is running the formula, showing up, following our rules, risking the right amount, making sure that anything that we did different gets tracked, it gets logged, that all of our trades as a whole, they get tracked and logged into a separate spreadsheet, right? Everything here is what's going to build consistency, and it's going to allow us to do that on a long-term basis. And then the last one is trading is not about being right or wrong. You never need to worry about the next trade. Follow the plan and execute, right? That is just as important as anything else. It doesn't matter if you lost. It doesn't matter if you won. It matters that you followed your rules. And I've talked about it before where following your rules is being right, right? Winning the trade is not being right. Losing the trade is not being wrong. But following your rules is being right. Not following your rules is being wrong. Because those are the only two things that are going to predict whether or not we are able to make consistent income. Now, that has all been discussed plenty of times in the past, right? Just, a quick recap. But what we haven't really talked about much here is why the math works, right? I talk about this long term, this consistency, this, following your rules down to a pinpoint, right? All of these things, they're great in theory, but why? Why does it work? And so what I have on the right, these are my statistics for the last little bit over a year of trades, right? So it's 200 plus total trades. The average per trade is 0.66. Now, I highlight that because I see a lot of guys online where they talk about this idea that you need to have a over 1-to-1 average per trade. And if you're not taking many trades, then sure, that can work. That'll be, if you're taking less than one a day, maybe 1 or 2 a week, something in that realm, then I can understand how that would be more profitable than not. But for most of us, we're showing up and we're trading at least once a day. And the reason why I think it's important for us to continue to do that is because the more repetitions you put into it, the better you're going to be. We know this with every walk of life, that being able to do whatever it is we want to get better at every single day, right, or for multiple times a day, is going to make us better. But at that same time, it's important that we understand the difference between practicing and perfect practice, right? So when I say perfect practice, that means you're not just showing up to the charts, placing the trade, and then calling it a day and thinking that's making you better, because it's not. And in the long run, it's probably making you worse because you're probably developing habits that you otherwise wouldn't have had you just slowed down a little. But if we are only taking one trade a week, well, that greatly diminishes our ability to perform as long-term and profitable traders. So I'm not saying to change your strategy, right? If you take 10 trades a day, if you take 1 trade a day, if you take 1 a week, right? It is all up to you. I'm just suggesting that you keep it to a minimum of 1 trade a day. That way you build the framework of your habits, but don't overdo it and make it so that your trades go all over the place and you're not really building any habits. You're kind of just showing up and placing trades. So now, back on the topic of why the math works, right? If we win 72% of the time, yet your average trade is 0.66 per trade, 200 plus trades, and now the 200 plus, I put that there. Well, yes, that is how many I have logged. I put that there also to highlight how important it is to have that many trades, right? Maybe it's more for you, maybe it's less for you, but it should be at least over 100. The market fluctuates. We know this, we understand this, and we accept it. But by how much depends on how long you've been trading, right? If you have, let's say you have 1,000 trades, right? But those 1,000 trades only occurred over a 3-month basis. Well, the next 3 months might be completely different. So you might need more than 1,000 trades. But if you only have 10 trades and that occurred over a 3-month basis, that doesn't help either, because you still now have a small number of trades, even though it's over, a long period of time, right? Or 6 months even, right? Let's say you have 30 trades over 6 months, right? It's a long period of time. It's half a year, but it's still only 30 trades. It's 30 independent variables that have played out to your or not your favor, okay? So finding out where your happy medium is, and then building towards it so you can get a rough idea of what you should expect out of your trades. And then by the end of it, you can look at the data and you can say, okay, well, if I know that I include all the outliers, and when I say outlier, I mean things like missed trades, right? Or slip trades, right? Trades that you should have gotten entered at one price, but you got slipped by 4 ticks, right? You know, when referring to something like NQ, where the tick amount is pretty small, and those are going to add up. They are. But if you give it enough time, they're going to be diminished by the opposing side. So what I mean by that is, let's say you get slipped, right? Let's say your entry gets slipped on one trade. Boom, and it's a winner. But that winner should have been $100, but it was really only $80. Well, that's a 20% drop. That will add up. Over 10 trades, you've only made $800 instead of $1,000, right? However, the losers are just the same. Sometimes you're going to have it where it comes back and triggers you, and you actually get a better entry, right? This can happen. Or, in an even more likely situation, you're going to have times where you get your take profits slipped, but it slips farther than what your exit point was. So rather than getting out 100, you got out at 130, right? These are outliers. They happen every single day. Every single trade could be considered an outlier, right? Unless you have a defined mean average, right? Let's say within 10 to 20%. So if it goes from anywhere from $80 to $120, we'll assume that that's our average. Anything outside of that average is going to be an outlier. But even though they will add up, in the end, and by in the end I mean hundreds of trades, they will seem obsolete because they will be obsolete as long as you are following the rules. And that's the core principle behind why the math works. Why you don't need to worry about the next trade or the next 10 trades or the next 100 trades, right? It is simply a matter of how many more trades do I have to place before I see the mean average come to fruition, right? How many more trades before you see, hey, this is what it was predicted to get and this is what I got, okay? Now, moving on. Last slide I've got for everybody. It's another call to action. Hopefully you guys have been following along with the last few weeks of call to actions that I've given you. This one's pretty simple. It's just a breakdown of test, tweak, implement, execute. This is the formula I think everybody should follow when it comes to getting into trading or getting into following your rules, whether it be the first time, whether it be the 10th time, whatever it may be. Don't feel ashamed if you have to start from zero. Right? That's why I bring this up. Don't feel like you have to start at step 3 because what you were doing almost worked and you don't want to start all the way over, right? And, you know, just a simple example would be, let's say you've been trading for a while and your strategy just isn't performing, right? You don't know why. You're following all your rules, but you just can't get it to perform. And you go back and you tweak something, right? You change something small. And you go back, you back test, and you see, okay, well, this small change has increased my total output by 10x, right? Just a rough example. It's going to feel very, very enticing for you to take that change and then instantly put it into your live trading. I heavily, heavily, heavily warn against that for the simple reason that implementing something of that major of a change, meaning a change to the strategy, whether it be small, whether it be large, whatever it is, a change to a strategy is major, right? I heavily encourage you guys, if you make that decision, start from zero. Trade your strategy before the change on the live account. So don't change anything, but then the change that you made, do that on a sim account, right? So that you still get the best of both worlds, right? The strategy that you know is working, right? Maybe it's not working very well. It's just not performing very well. Continue to trade that. You've built up the habits to be a good trader with that strategy. Don't ruin that. But then take this new strategy or this new change and just put it over onto a sim account, right? Trade both. And then after you see the live results of the sim account start to build and they start to grow and be better than the previous live account and the previous way that you traded, then start to implement it, right? Make that change into your live account. But by trading it on sim, you can avoid any little nuances that you couldn't see in backtesting. One of those things might be slippage, right? In backtesting, slippage is not an issue. It doesn't exist because you're not getting fill. You're simply looking at what the chart printed after it already happened. So if you test it in live and you see, wow, this change that I made, yeah, it dropped my, let's just say you shrink your stop loss size, right? Let's say you were trading a 30-point stop loss, now you're trading a 15-point stop loss, right? If that change is now netting you higher results, that's great. But put it in live testing, because you might see, oh, well, it's netting me higher results, but I'm getting slipped a lot more. And those slips start to add up, right? They're no longer outliers. They're adding up to be too much that it is totally affecting the end result, right? It's just a rough example of why you would want to start over and have it be on sim, but then that allows you to tweak it. So you test it, you tweak, and then we implement it into your live trading, or implement it in your sim trading for a little longer, whatever it may be, and then finally execute. Execute is what we always end with. It's what we always do. We have to finalize our strategies and make sure that what we're doing follows it to a T. We're not deviating from the plan in any way, shape, or form. And in the long run, that's what builds consistency. Okay, everybody? So I'm going to pause there. Reality, do we have any questions over there in the chat?
Any questions, YouTube or Rumble, guys? Anybody got anything today? I love this one. Landon, I got to tell you, we've been talking about this on the stream. I try to say these same things over and over and over again. Same exact things that you're stressing here. I love it when you hit on these points. I really do.
Thanks, man. Are you talking the math side of it, or just the overall starting on sim and moving forward?
Every single part of it that you need, the math side of it, to not care about. I try to tell these guys all the time, it's always about your setup, then your entry, right? And if you did these things, you've won. So you got, your setup, what you're looking for, then you got your entry, and that's going to be your entry rules, right? You take that, you won. Don't worry about the P&L, because over 100 trades, if you are consistently profitable, this trade doesn't matter, and you won't think about this trade, right? In 6 months, if you just took it, you lost and you went on. However, if you come back in your revenge trade because you're so upset that you lost that trade and looking at the red rather than paying attention to the process, you will remember it in 6 months because you blew an account, or 2 or 3, who knows, right? You revenge traded until you lost it. So I try to stress this point as much as I can, because it's a great point. It has nothing to do with what trade you won or lost. If you followed your rules, stuck to your plan, it's a win, regardless of what your P&L says, for that trade or even for the day. And that's where, risk to reward, and I talk about this a little bit too, because risk to reward, the problem with risk to reward is that's based it on this trade. So many people are so stuck on what this trade is, and that's where bankroll management, I know we've had this conversation too, that's where bankroll management's so much different, because it's not about today. I mean, it's not about this trade, right? And it's definitely not about today or even this week. It's about where are you in 6 months? And I think in the trading space, people have it confused so much because they are focused on this trade. I have to win this trade. I can't lose this trade. And I think that's the wrong mentality to approach. And essentially you're saying the exact same thing. Follow your plan. Doesn't matter if you win or lose. Over 100 trades is what matters. Over 200 trades is what matters. And that's absolutely the point that I like seeing here. I love it. I love it.
And I want to add too, something in my personal trading that I've done is I switched from a 2-to-1 or a 3-to-1. I do use the R to R method, but not in the sense of, I mean, again, we've talked about this, but I'll reiterate it for everybody else. And it's, when I trade R to R, it's not a matter of, okay, well, I'm taking this trade because I expect to get 1-to-1 or 2-to-1 or 3-to-1. I just simply use it because I know that it's something that I can implement every day consistently, right? It's not, I don't trade based on the levels necessarily when it comes to setting my take profits. I trade based on the fact that I know this is a part of my strategy. It's a part of my bankroll management, that if I implement it the same way every single day, I'm going to get a positive return. And that's just, I mean, it's what I learned how to use. It's how I use it every day. But for a lot of these guys, if you're not setting break-even stops, if you're letting it run for too long, you're basing all of your profitability on a couple trades. And this wasn't something that I had planned for today, but now that it's up, I want to talk about it.
Yep.
If any of you guys are trading a system that, like, let's say it's 4-to-1, right? 4-to-1 R to R. So in theory, what that means is you can win one trade and have that make up for 4 losses. That's a pretty good ratio. That means you can win 25% of the time and you'll be break even, right? Maybe it's less than that. Whatever. I mean, you see what I'm saying. And the reason I urge to go against that is because what happens if the day that you're supposed to win, your computer doesn't turn on, right? Or you miss the trade, or the trade slips and it should have been this great winner, but it wasn't, right? Or even worse, if you do all your back testing and you see that you get these monumentous results, right? And it's really great. But then when you implement it, your winners that are supposed to be, 400 on 100, they're really only 300, right? It's going to 4R. It's not going to 3R. It's going to 4R, but you're only getting 3R out of it, right? And, you even if you don't use R to R, you can, kind of extrapolate what I'm saying into your own form of risk management and trade management. But I've switched to the 1-to-1 method. And the reason I did that is because when I looked back at the back testing, I asked myself something. I said, okay, well, how often does my trade hit 1-to-1 and then immediately turn around? Not very often. It's actually pretty seldom. Usually it goes to 1.1, 1.2, right? 1.3, any of these small numbers. So I said, okay, well, if I set my trade so that my take profit is a little bit farther than 1-to-1, and I know there's a good chance that it's going to blow past it because I tend to trade breakouts, and I'm going to get slipped in a good way. It's going to slip my take profit, and I'm going to get a little bit more out of the trade, right? I implement that idea, but I saw green results from that, but even more so, hey, if I have to go somewhere, right, and I can't be at the desk today, right, or for whatever reason, I wake up late, right, my computer isn't on, I miss the trade, I'm doing something else, any of these possible life factors, if I miss a win, it is not that big of a deal because my win rate is 72%. So that means that 72% of the time, I'm going to get 1-to-1. In my 2-to-1 structure, the 2-to-1 structure was closer to like 40-50%. Now, that's fine because it's 2R, right? It's double, right? But you get so many more break evens. And then on a mental level, right? If you get a bunch of break evens back to back to back, you're going to start thinking to yourself, man, if I had just gotten out, man, if I had just sold, man, if I had just bought, right? Any of these possible mental manipulations that you can put yourself into, they're really going to take you away from the core principle that is, hey, just do what you're supposed to. Because you're going to be worrying about what you could have done rather than what you should be doing. Not saying change your strategy, but it's something to think about. Are you dependent on a couple wins to make up for the rest of your trades? All right, one more time, I'm going to say it. Everybody think with me. Are you dependent on a couple wins to make up for the rest of your trades? Right? If you are, there's probably something wrong with the way that you're... I don't want to say something wrong with the way you're trading, but I can see how that would be, I guess, hindering, right? I guess that's the best way to put it. It's going to put a hindrance on your long-term profitability if you miss a couple and that kind of ruins that month or maybe even that week's total profit output. So I'll pause there. Brownie, we got anything else? I know. What's that?
Any questions? You got some in the chat right there, but I love that. That's something I never really even considered. I hadn't taken that into consideration because I never did the R trading really. I've just tried to wrap my head around it from what people tell me. But that's a very valid point. Those that have high R and they expect those trades, and then if they don't catch that trade, well, now how do they make up? Yeah, I mean that's very valid. That's a great point as well. I agree.
Exactly. I mean, it's not like just because you missed the trade doesn't mean that the losses are going to miss as well, right?
Yeah.
The probabilities work all the same. If you messed up, you're going to have to pay for it, and not just in a means of missing the winner, but there are losses on the backside of that as well.
Yep. Yeah, I think you got some people talking in the chat. There's some stuff that was there.
He said, I'll start at the top. It says, but how did you manage with over trading? For me right now, I feel like I'm over trading sometimes from Inferno Shades. Yeah, so over trading is something that, again, a lot of people do struggle with it. The way that I've handled that has just been implementing a 1-a-day rule, right? 1 a day. As soon as I place the trade, and even deeper than that, as soon as I place the trade, right, and I get filled, I walk away. I have hotkeys set up I make sure my take profit, my stop loss are where they need to be. As soon as that trade gets placed, we're done, right? I don't look at it. I don't manage it. I leave it where it is. Will that change in the future? Yes. I'm not saying that that's the best way to do it or the only way to do it. I'm saying that's what works for me right now. In the area that I'm in my trading career, I set it, I forget it, I go on with my day, right? I don't leave the computer just in case something goes wrong, but I don't touch it. That's really the best advice I can give, because this is kind of like asking, well, how do I follow my rules? Or how do I risk what I want to risk, right? It's up to you. You're the one that's placing the trades. You're the one that's deciding whether or not you overtrade or not. And all I can do is kind of give some helpful ways to avoid overtrading. And that would be, hey, as soon as you place the trade, be done with it. Don't touch it. Don't come back and sit down and look for the next one. Have predefined rules that keep you away from being able to overtrade or just revenge trade or over risk, any of these things. And then hopefully that answered Inferno. I'm going through these questions. There's your problem. Okay, they're talking.
I guess my voice sounds weird. I don't know. Does my voice sound weird on here?
It's just a little distorted.
Okay.
It's not.
That's
it's
what
not
happens on Discord, sadly. I assume it's not that way on YouTube. I don't know, but this is what happens on Discord sometimes. Sorry about that, guys. Whatever it is, sadly.
But Inferno, did that kind of help answer your question? Maybe he's not over here.
He's on YouTube. Inferno, was that the answer you were looking for? I think he's listening on YouTube, but...
Gotcha. Okay. Well... I got you. No. I can reiterate. I was just saying, for you to be, you were asking how do you manage over trading, and I know G-Flock, or Gerflock, whatever. You're good, man. I saw that he was trying to help you. Pretty much all I was saying was, for me to avoid over trading, I place my trade, I keep it to one a day, and then I walk away. That's it. Don't overcomplicate it. You don't have to worry about, okay, well, place this many trades. Just one a day. As soon as the trade is placed, walk away. Don't overmanage it. That's it. That's how I do it. G-Fog said, I think that many people need to understand the mechanics of psychology and math in order to stop over trading and all of this. Yeah, I mean... Let's see, Inferno Shades. I feel guilty to do only one trade.
Yeah, what he said landed on a stream either yesterday or the day before, because he's new to our community and been coming to the streams, and he said that he feels like this is a full-time job. He takes this as a job, so he comes in and he trades, and he feels like if he's not trading, he's not making money. So that's kind of that's why he's saying he feels guilty, if that brings more light.
Yeah.
Right?
So, no. Trust me, I can definitely understand. I was there. I still am there, right? When it comes to wanting to do more, right? Because you show up, you place your trade, and you feel like you're done, or maybe you don't feel like you're done, and it can kind of weigh on you, right? I understand that feeling very, very well, and what I can urge you to do is find other ways to be in the trading space, right? Don't overdo it, right? You shouldn't be thinking about it all day, but that don't involve trading. So, for example, let's put it this way. If you feel like you have the urge that you want to keep trading, well, separate it. Have one side where that's your professional side, right? That's where you show up, you follow your rules, you place the one trade, you call it a day. That's the professional trade, because as lazy or, ill-present as it may feel, placing that one trade is going to be way, way more effective in the long term than placing 2, 3, maybe not 2, 3, but rather placing more than you should. But you're going to feel like you're doing well because you're being there, you're being present. But if you feel like you have to place those trades, have a sim account or have another eval, right? Maybe have another live account, right? Whatever it is, these are possible solutions. But if you don't want to go that route, you can involve yourself by learning, right? So after you're done, you place your trade, then migrate into reading, right? Read some Mark Douglas books. Read, any other author there can be. I'm a fan of Mark Douglas. That's why I always, I say his name. But there are hundreds of knowledge-based trading literature that you can dive into. I'm sure Reality has the PDFs for. Use that time to expand your knowledge in the trading space outside of just strategies, right? There are so many things that you can do that can help you become a more effective trader that are not just trading. And honestly, just trading is probably one of the least effective things you can do to make yourself better. I'm using right now the Realities PDF. Yeah. And I'll also urge people, look outside of trading, right? So books like The Subtle Art of Not Giving by Mark Manson, The War of Art, right? That's another great one. You can read Atomic Habits. You can read 55, what is it? I think it's 55 Levels from 8 Dimensions, right? It's more of an in-depth self-help book talking about, your mental state, where you are in life. All of these, they're not related to trading in any way, shape, or form, but rather they're related to habit building. They're related to self-satisfaction. They're related to letting go of these holds that we have on being better or doing more, when we should really just step back and take a look at what is actually helping us. All right, well, if we don't have any more questions, I'm going to go ahead and call it there. Anybody else? Well, Reality, anything over in those YouTube chats?
Nope, I don't see anything. As always, you did an amazing job, Landon. I appreciate it.
We'll be back next week, and next week I'll be a little bit more situated as far as life goes. So I'll be in here on the morning chats with you guys, and once again right here next Thursday as well. I hope everybody has a blessed day, and we got one more day of trading this week and then off to the weekend. So thank you guys for joining me. We'll be back next week.
Yep, absolutely. Appreciate it, Landon, as always.
Sir.
All right, everyone. Anybody got anything else for me? Any other questions? Sorry, my mic sounds funny. Don't exactly know why, but... Any questions at all? If not, I will go ahead and wrap up as well. Have a great rest of your day, guys. It's weird, yeah, is it on YouTube as well, weird? I don't know why it's, yeah, I don't know why it's, sounding funny. Hopefully it's just, normally it's a Discord thing, that's why I try to do nah, it's got nothing to do with potato. It never does. It's got something to do with Discord. If I wasn't in Discord, it wouldn't do it. I don't know why Discord messes with my mic, but it does. That's why I don't do video anymore in Discord. Because it proved to cause problems with my mic very often. So, that's why I did it. But anyway, alright. Thank you very much, guys. As always, have a great day. I'll see you first thing tomorrow morning. And stay consistent out there.
Nothing left to hide. Time dissolves when I'm in the zone. Rising higher on my own. Time dissolves when I'm in the zone. send you this message straight from my mind. When everything clicks, leaving chaos behind. Feel the pulse in my veins as I start to flow. Time starts bending, letting everything go. Racing thoughts slow down. In the zone, time dissolves.
Just gonna cut in here, guys. Test.
Everything becomes clear.
Still sounds wrong. Okay.
Each pattern I see brings me closer to you. Every signal I read tells me just what to do. Breath gets steady, heart beats in time as I rise through the layers of his spine. Watch the world fade out. In the zone, time dissolves. Everything becomes clear. Oh, lost count